Lamont Roach in training camp, ready for one of the biggest rematches.
You're the boxer, and he's the puncher.
It depends on how I'm feeling that night.
Depends on how you're feeling going into the fight. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling like Mike Tyson today.
These two have known each other for a while. Does Lamont Roach just understand a way to beat or frustrate Tank in a way that others don't?
Mike Tyson visits Lamont Roach's camp. Ahead of Gervonta Davis rematch, predicts early finish. Boxing legend. Mike Tyson made a surprise visit to Lamont Roach's training camp as Roach prepares for his highly anticipated rematch with Gervonta Davis. Tyson didn't just watch. He got in on the action, training alongside Roach and offering words of wisdom. Iron Mike didn't hold back on his prediction either. Davis won't last the distance, Tyson declared, confident that Roach has the power to end it early. We'll see what happens, he added, hinting at Roach's explosive potential and the fireworks expected in the ring.
At first I thought Tank was just going to beat him in like 5 or 6 rounds. I don't know. We have to see now. I got caught up with the hype and stuff.
What's the key? The key to the fight?
But Davis, I think, I don't see it going the distance to fight.
The rivalry between Lamont Roach and Gervonta Tank Davis is more than just another boxing headline. It's a defining chapter in both of their legacies. Roach did what no one else had before. He took Tank to a draw. That bout changed the narrative around both fighters. Davis, known for stopping nearly everyone he faced, met a man who could withstand the storm and counter it with strategy and heart. That first encounter gave Roach the blueprint. Now, he's back. More confident, more prepared, and ready to finish what he started.
Better. But they've known each other. These two have known each other for a while. Does Lamont Roach just understand a way to beat or frustrate Tank in a way that others don't? You know what I mean? Like, has he just found it, so to speak? Like, I have a lot I want to find out after that because the first fight was so controversial. I think leaving it up to a draw is fine, whatever, even though under the letter of the law, Tank probably should have lost this fight and probably would have if they counted the knockdown when he took a knee. He blamed it on grease. I assume he won't on his hair. And it could get greasy. Like Amanda Serrano was like, yo, that's what fucking put me out of a fight in Puerto Rico. And then we were subjected to her beating the shit out of Stevie Morgan not that long later. So like, that's kind of what it is. But I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this because of the first fight. And I think you have to give Lamont Roach a real shot, even though I still would say Tank figures it out and gets it done and takes it more seriously this time.
Yeah, I think that because they're so familiar with each other, like these guys fought each other when they were kids. And then Lamont Roach comes into the ring and listen, regardless, like Lamont Roach came in there and he was confident. And I don't think a lot of people believe that he was going to be able to get it done against Tank. People thought that Tank was going to knock him out. Here's the thing, though. Tank is actually super skilled. Like, he doesn't throw a lot. When he does, he's extremely accurate. But he does have skill, and what he does is he reels in his fighters, and he ends up landing big shots on them that end up knocking his opponent out.
Mike Tyson, one of boxing's most feared and respected legends, hasn't held back when it comes to sharing his thoughts on the upcoming rematch. Tyson made it clear, Gervonta Tank Davis can't afford to walk into this fight overconfident. Speaking candidly, Tyson called it a tough fight and warned that Tank shouldn't take Roach lightly. There's no room for complacency when the stakes are this high.
I think Gervonta Davis is probably the greatest fighter around now, but he's got a tough fight coming up. You know, he's the top dog. There's no doubt about it. He showed that. But Barrios, he's a pretty good fighter. Last time I saw him fight, he was pretty durable.
Ryan Garcia, one of boxing's biggest names, didn't hold back in his assessment of the Roach versus Davis rivalry. Garcia was impressed with what Lamont Roach showed in their first bout, saying it proved Roach truly belongs on the big stage. But heading into the rematch, Garcia believes the real pressure is on Gervonta Tank Davis. It's no longer just about talent, it's about will, effort, and how deep Tank is willing to dig, Garcia stated. In his view, Roach has already proven himself. Now it's up to Davis to rise to the moment if he wants to walk away with the win.
Does the rematch play out if they do fight again? Sometimes not a loss, but something like this, a blemish, might get you back.
It can. You know, it's all up to Tank. It's all about what how he feels inside internally. I think, for him, it's a lot due up here too, like all of us. But I think that's what you're gonna get from Roach. That's what you're gonna get at Roach every time. I think it's up to Tank to see, what type of how far he could go up.
Lamont Roach's training camp got a major boost with the arrival of boxing icon Mike Tyson, and it showed. Roach didn't just train harder, he trained smarter. When asked about his mindset going into the rematch, Roach said everything will come down to how he feels on fight night. But he went deeper, explaining that he feels like Mike Tyson, not in arrogance, but in spirit. It's that focused, fearless energy, Roach said. I'm locked in.
You're the boxer, and he's the puncher.
It depends on how I'm feeling that night.
Depends on how you're feeling going into the fight. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling like Mike Tyson.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis wasn't too happy to hear about Mike Tyson's involvement in Lamont Roach's camp, and he didn't hold back. In a bold response, Davis claimed he has more power and better skills than Tyson ever had, a statement that raised eyebrows given Tyson's legendary status as one of the most feared knockout artists in boxing history. The comment speaks volumes about Tank's mindset: proud, confident, and unafraid to challenge even the sport's icons. But beneath the bravado, there may be signs of pressure. His frustration could reflect a growing realization: this rematch won't be easy.
I think I do have more skills than Mike Tyson. As far as when I say I have more skills than Mike Tyson, guys smarter than at a lower weight class always have more skills. It's no heavyweight ever in life had more skills than smaller guys. So let's just take that out the picture. So when people think that I'm dissing Mike Tyson, I'm not dissing Mike Tyson for sure. It's just facts is facts. You know what I mean? I do feel as though I have more skills than Mike Tyson. I just hold that puncher power just as like Mike Tyson did when he was fighting. So, and I'm gonna stand on my word.
Shakur Stevenson also weighed in on the upcoming rematch, calling Lamont Roach a hell of a fighter, and stressing that Gervonta Davis will need to elevate his game this time around. What makes Roach so dangerous, Stevenson explained, isn't just his physical tools. It's his timing, defense, and most of all, his heart. Roach fights like a man with everything on the line, and that intensity is what makes this rematch so compelling. This won't just be a fight, Stevenson said. It's going to be a war. Both men know what's at stake, and neither plans to leave without making a statement.
Talked about those rankings since they came out?
No, I ain't talking about it. Bro, I can't blame. Here's the thing, all of this stuff going on behind closed doors with these high-powered peoples and they making these high-powered decisions. I can't blame the fighters for that. So what is there even to talk about? What I'm gonna say? Oh, Key. Oh, I'm sure. There's nothing to talk about. That's my brother at the end of the day. I'm proud of him. I'm happy to where he's at because I done seen where he came from. So truthfully, I'm not caught up in that shit. That shit is what it is. But y'all know, I know what it is.
Can we get your thoughts on?
To overlook Zepeda, the turkey called and say you got your eye on Tank. What do you think about the rumors of Tank and Jake fight?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. And he called cap on it. So if you gonna call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it.
We got the rematch announced today with him and Lamont Roach. I think August
they announced
16th.
It today.
So what do you think? Considering you were one of the handful of people to pick Lamont Roach, giving him a tough fight. What do you think? I think
it's dangerous for him to go back in there and fight Lamont. I think Lamont is a hell of a fighter. I can see that going left. So he better be on his A game.
For Lamont Roach, this rematch isn't just another fight. It's a turning point in his career. He's not chasing a payday, he's chasing legacy. A win over Gervonta "Tank" Davis wouldn't just silence any doubts from their first encounter. It would launch Roach into the ranks of boxing's elite. He's training with fire, speaking with conviction, and carrying himself like a man who knows this could be the moment that defines his legacy.
So the Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach rematch is being targeted for June 21st in Las Vegas. Now, it's good that they're running it back without wasting any time because Roach absolutely deserves a rematch. I thought he outboxed Tank the last time around. He came up a division as a gigantic 10-1 underdog, and he was the one on the front foot, landing his jab, the body shots, the combinations, throwing a lot more volume. I had it 7-5 Roach, and the no knockdown in round 9 was the reason it was a draw. If that knockdown was scored, that would have been a decision for Roach. But with all that being said, I do like Tank a lot more in the rematch. I thought he fought way too much on the back foot in the first fight, especially the first few rounds. He would land 1 or 2 punches per round, but as he started becoming the aggressor in the later rounds, he kept landing a lot more left hands and body shots. So Tank just needs to make this a dogfight, get into more exchanges, and that's where he'll land a lot more punches on Roach. When he's sitting on the back foot waiting for a counter, that's where Roach is comfortable and winning most of the rounds. So if Tank can fight the same way he did against Ryan Garcia, rounds 3 to 7, against Mario Barrios in the later rounds, or Frank Martin rounds 4 to 8, if he's the one on the front foot, then I do think he'll stop Roach in the rematch.
In camp, so knowing the coaches, they knowing us, work it's both ways. It ain't just our way, coming from both sides. So, but no, was I shocked? No. I think Tank tried to tell y'all. Calvin tried to tell y'all, Burry tried to tell y'all, but they didn't want to hear it. They just so stuck on trying to force Tank to fight who they want him to fight. And it don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? So it just was made for a great fight. So people need to just sit back and get ready for part 2.
It's gonna be epic, man. I can't wait for part 2, man. Do you got anything to say to the fans, about part 2, about anything that you got going on coming up, social media, anything?
No, I just say get ready, man. Put your seatbelts on, and when that thing happen, man, make sure y'all support. Come to the fight, buy the fight, and be the biggest fan, cheering whoever you're cheering for. Don't matter, but you're gonna see another great performance by the Reaper, man. The Reaper ain't playing. He got a big bag, like you said, big 2 bag.
What do you think the difference would be, though?
You're gonna see the difference. I mean, I believe we want to fight. Nobody can tell us different. The majority of the world believe we want to fight. So you're gonna see. Both of them gonna raise their level. Both of them. So
yeah,
they're gonna make for a greater fight. But
what is your thought? Let's know in comment. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to stay locked in. More boxing updates coming your way soon.